When Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst went to cast his ballot for himself during early runoff voting today, most of the questions from reporters were about the mental health records for his opponent, Dan Patrick. Dewhurst denies he or his campaign had anything to do with their release. Fox 4's Richard Ray is outside an early voting polling place with more on what's become a very ugly feud between the Republican Party's candidates for Lieutenant Governor. Rich.
Steve, it certainly has. Jerry Patterson was knocked out of the four-way primary election, but since then, he has waged a scorched earth campaign to oust the frontrunner, the Tea Party favorite, Dan Patrick. And like it or not, and there is debate about that, the incumbent Lieutenant Governor, David Dewhurst, is caught in the middle.
It's a sad tale of ego and ambition, trumping telling the truth. It's not about what happened a couple of decades ago. It's about today.
Land Commissioner Jerry Patterson, defeated in the primary, continues to pile on fellow Republican Dan Patrick. Patterson was behind last week's resurfacing of medical documents from a lawsuit Patrick filed in the late 80s. Patterson pointed to Patrick's initial response to reports of his treatment history.
Mild depression, and checked himself in for a few days of rest. And then the next day we find out that he actually attempted suicide on 2 occasions, by slitting his wrist in an overdose.
David Dewhurst, talking to reporters as he early voted in Austin, says he knew about the documents before Patterson released him and told him twice not to.
If you really feel that Dan Patrick is unfit to be the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Texas, don't be doing anything that might confuse people and somehow indirectly hurt me.
Early voting has begun. I need your vote.
Dan Patrick posted a video of himself online Monday, but did not address the medical history mudslinging. His response has come on his Facebook page, where he says, despite Dewhurst's assertion, David was totally involved and knew everything that was happening. He deemed it all dirty political tricks of David Dewhurst. It's the only way he knows how to campaign. I have not seen a doctor or taken any medication for depression or any other mental health issue since 1987.
At the end of the day, if this speaks to the character and the capacity to govern and lead of Dan Patrick, then I think it should be on the voters' minds.
If you go back in Texas history, there are some terribly nasty races that would be the equal of this, but we haven't really seen a race like this in a very long time. Senator Patrick is beside himself that this is a terrible new low in Texas politics. David Dewhurst, as he frequently is, seems slightly confused by whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, and Patterson having one hell of a good time.
Going forward, if Dan Patrick wins, and he is leading in the polls, certainly this is not the last we're going to hear of his mental health record. The documents will be fodder for the Democrat and their candidate, State Senator Leticia Van de Putte. And Steve, the fall election could be another mudfest.
Yeah, it was funny the way Cal Gilson categorized it perfectly, you know, who enjoys this and who doesn't. Jay Nelson today calling it a new low for Texas politics, a high-ranking Republican. Let me ask you a question. These documents for his Dan Patrick's mental health treatment, where exactly did those come out? I know Dewhurst today kind of said, hey, it's his problem, not mine. You know, talk about how they came out, where they came from.
Well, indeed, the documents are public record. In 1987, Patrick sued the now defunct Houston Post and one of their reporters after he and the reporter got in some kind of a fight at a sports bar that Patrick co-owned in Houston at the time. Patrick then sued for $1.6 million. Among other things, he claimed he had mental anguish from the whole affair, and that's where this comes out. In depositions, he talks about his treatment for mental health issues and the suicides and the like. Now, those records, though public record, nobody had really seen them publicly until Patterson got them from one of the attorneys in the case. But it's not like they leaked anything that was privacy issues. It's in the public record.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't sealed or anything like that. All right, Richard Ray, I have a feeling we'll be talking about this, as you mentioned, through November. All right, thanks a lot.